G'day guys, Sean here from Outback Equipment. Today we're down here at the beautiful Bribie Island and we're going to be walking you through how to get your car out of a sticky situation at the beach, just like Brent's got himself into with the Triton.
That I did.
All right, so the back wheel of Brent's car is nice and sunk deep into the soft sand. What we're going to be walking you through is a couple of different ways to get unstuck, from the easiest ways, not even having to get out of your car, all the way through to the really tricky recoveries with multiple vehicles involved. So the first things you got to check, make sure the vehicle's in four-wheel drive and put it into low range. The second thing you want to check, if you've got a rear or front and rear locker, put your lockers in. That'll really help with a bit of extra traction. Once you put the vehicle in four-wheel drive low range, you got your lockers in, just try and drive it out nice and slow. So Brent, you've got four-wheel drive low range, you've got your lockers in, give it a try and get out of here without putting any effort into it. Nice and slow for me.
No worries.
Alrighty, how easy was that? Goes to show just having the right settings, especially on a modern four-wheel drive, makes it so much easier to get out of a situation like that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to bring Brent round. We're going to get his front wheels stuck in the holes that he was just stuck in the rear wheels. And we're going to try and dig the back in so he gets really, really stuck. We're going to show you a couple of other recovery techniques that we use. Yes, dig. Alrighty, so Brent's done a great job of getting himself even more stuck than he was before. What we're gonna try this time, if the four low and the lockers don't work, so still put the car in four low, still put your locker on if you've got it. But what we're gonna do now is a little trick that I learned to get you out of really soft sand, especially when you dug down a little bit. Now this probably won't work if you're down below your diffs, but I think Brent's in a perfect position to give this a shot. So what we're gonna do is basically roll the car forward only a few centimeters, put it in reverse, roll back a few centimeters, roll forward a few centimeters, then back a few centimeters. And what this will actually do is dig out and even out the holes that all four wheels are stuck in. And then eventually, once you do that 5, 6, 7 times, you should just be able to drive straight out. What we would also recommend is if you're on a bit of a hill, make sure you try and drive out down the hill instead of up the hill. It'll make your life a hell of a lot easier. All right, Brent, so you got all that, give it a crack, roll forward a little bit, roll back a little bit till you get really unstuck and then try and drive it. So the key to this kind of recovery to actually work is you don't want to spin the wheels at all. Try not to get it to the point where the vehicle's actually digging deeper again. All you want to do is just roll forward very, very slightly, only a centimeter or two, and then back slightly. Yeah, and then back. Yeah, now forward.
Like I bought one.
So the key to this one, small, gentle movements. Try not to spin the wheels. Just nudge yourself back and forward ever so slightly until the hole that you're in evens out and you'll be able to drive straight out. Alrighty, so if all of the previous attempts that you've tried are unsuccessful, can't manage to get out under your own steam, there's a couple of different options in terms of products that you can carry on you to make sure that a situation like this doesn't end badly. One of those is a great little product, this one called track grabbers. Basically what this does is it wraps around your tire and in through your rim. Just gives you a little bit of extra traction. This whole block of rubber here, nice and soft so it's not going to damage your wheels or any of your panels. Just gives you that little bit of extra traction, similar to a mud tire that will just pull you out of the sand. We'll get this up around the tire and we'll see if you can get out. The reason why you would grab one of these is they are a great cheap alternative to some of the more expensive options to carry on your vehicle. We'll go through some of those later. These are super lightweight and you can stash them pretty much anywhere in your car. Alrighty, so how it works is you've got this big block of rubber and a long strap with some Velcro. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the strap, we're gonna feed it around the back of the wheel and through the rim, pull it through the other side, and then position the track grabber on the top of the tire. Feed it through the double D loops, like so. Make sure it's nice and tight, so it's not going anywhere. And then simply just Velcro the rest of the strap back around the wheel. So the track grabbers come in both a 2-pack and a 4-pack. Even the 4-pack's still nice and small to stash anywhere in your four-wheel drive. All right, so now we got the track grabbers on 2 of the back wheels of the Triton. Brent's gonna go nice, low and slow and move the car out. So Brent, if you want to take it away nice and slow for us, see if we can get you out.
I'm just gonna select sand in this situation because the Mitsubishi Triton with its class-leading turning circle.
On your bike, let's go. It's getting hot. Alrighty, so while Brent gets those off, they're not the easiest thing in the world to get off once you've gotten out of the trouble, but they will get you out of trouble, and they are a great cheap option. So while Brent's getting those off the tires, we'll talk about the next option. So the next option that you can use if you're in a situation like this is obviously a recovery board. Now there's a lot of brands out there, a lot of them do the exact same thing. You got Max Tracks, Treads, etc, etc. Basically what you want to do with a recovery board, we don't have any here today.
Lube your locks.
The easiest way to explain it is you can use the recovery board as a bit of a shovel to dig out the sand in front of all 4 tires. If you've only got 2 recovery boards, put them in front of the 2 tires that are stuck the most. 2 fronts, 2 backs, 1 front, 1 back, 1 front, 1 back on the other side, doesn't matter. Just the 2 tires that are stuck the most. So once you've dug them out, make sure you get them nice and deep underneath the tire, roll forward onto the tracks really slowly, and then like with all of our recoveries today, you just want to roll forward nice and slowly until you pop out. The worst thing you want to do in any of these recoveries is give it the berries, because you'll just dig yourself down deeper into the sand, or you'll ruin your recovery gear, or worse, the body of the vehicle. Alrighty, so now finally we're going to show you the last way to get out of a stuck situation like this. Now I'm sure that there's many other ways that everyone else has tried. These are the ways that we recommend and the ways that we've tried and we trust. So the last way to get unstuck is if you've got a mate with you, you can use something like a Kinetic rope or a snatch strap. These are tried and tested, they've been used for years and years and years. We're gonna show you how to use them. So the Triton's not stuck at the moment, but we're just gonna show you how to get out of a situation with a snatch strap or a Kinetic rope, because you need to make sure that you drive carefully and you do this responsibly. So the most important thing to remember when you're rigging up any sort of recovery is when you're attaching any sort of recovery device, whether it be a shackle or a rope, to a vehicle, you wanna make sure that it's attached to a structural part of the vehicle. Now, most of the time you're going to be attaching it to what's called a rated recovery point. You can find these in the form of recovery points on the front of the vehicle. Usually they're bright red or bright yellow, or on the rear of the vehicle. Most of the time they're actually integrated into tow bars, like the Tag XR bar that we've got on the Ranger. If you don't have a recovery point on the rear of the vehicle, you can use your tow bar. Now what we recommend is using something like a hitch recovery block, which goes into your hitch receiver, or if you're really stuck, you can use the hitch pin. One thing to never, ever do is perform a recovery off a tow ball. It's one of the most dangerous things you can do. We've seen tow balls fly through the air, and we've heard stories about, unfortunately, these tow balls actually hitting and killing people. So we can't stress it enough. Do not recover off your tow ball. Use the hitch pin instead. It's a much safer option. Or if you want to go that next step, get a rated recovery point installed in your vehicle, or use a hitch receiver recovery point. We're going to rig up this recovery into the Triton. We're going to use rated recovery points, and we're going to see if we can get them unstuck. Alrighty, so I'll run you through the gear we're going to use in this recovery. So the first thing you're going to need is a way to attach whatever rope you're using to the vehicles. So we've got a couple of Sabre soft shackles here. These are great. They're Technora bound, so they're not going to damage any of the recovery points, and the recovery points are not going to damage your shackles. Soft shackles are a great safe alternative to your traditional hard shackles. They're a lot less weight and they don't hurt as much when they fly through the air in a failed recovery. Speaking of failed recoveries, we want to have a dampener on every recovery we do. So we're going to put this on the recovery rope. That way, if in the case that something in the system fails, the rope will drop to the ground instead of flying through the air. And then finally, we've got a 8-ton Kinetic rope from Sabre. So these are an awesome alternative to your traditional snatch straps. They stretch a little bit further, and you can actually use them a lot more times than your traditional snatch straps. You would have heard or seen some pretty old used snatch straps that look a bit torn up. They're not actually that safe to use. So we're going to be using a Kinetic rope. It's going to be a lot safer and it'll last us a lot longer. So like I was saying before, you want to make sure you attach your recovery devices to a rated recovery point on your vehicle. So I'm lucky enough to have this Tag XR bar. It's got some rated recovery points in here. These recovery points are rated and they've stickered to say so 4.5 tons. So it's going to be more than enough to recover the Triton. If you're in a situation you don't have any rated recovery points on the rear end of your vehicle, you can always use your hitch pin. So what you do in this case is you just loop the soft shackle around your hitch pin and use that. Now the last option is you can use something like this. This is a hitch receiver recovery device. It goes straight in your hitch there, goes in with the hitch pin, and this one is actually built for soft shackles. So it's got a nice smooth interior, so it's not going to damage any of the shackles that you use. It's going to be nice and safe in a recovery. We're going to use the built-in recovery points on the back of the Ranger, and we're going to hook it up to the recovery points on the front of the Triton. Let's do it. We're all hooked up and ready to go. We've got all of our recovery gear set up behind us. Now what you want to do as the driver in this situation, you want to put your vehicle in 4-wheel drive, obviously. If you're in a very stuck situation, you can even opt for low range. You want to go nice and slow, give yourself about a 3 or 4 meter lead up of slack in the rope. Once you feel the tension, just make sure you're driving nice and slow, like we said in all of our other recoveries. Slow and easy wins the race. If you've got radios, make sure you are in communication with the other driver. Make sure they're ready to go, they're aware that you're going to be pulling out and when the recovery is going to take place. It also allows you, if they're in a spot of trouble, to just call you over the radio and you can stop. Alrighty, so we're all set up, we're all ready to go. I'm going to call Brent on the radio and we're going to give it a crack. All right, Brent, you ready to go?
Yeah, mate, good to go.
Alrighty, and I'm going to count down from 3. I'm going to hit the slack and then we're going to drive out of it together.
Sounds good, mate.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, how easy was that? We've managed to get the Triton unstuck and we're on our way. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you've got any questions about recoveries or any feedback for us on how we perform our recoveries, make sure you drop a comment down below. As always, if you want any of this equipment, you can pick it up every day of the week at outbackequipment.com.au, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Purposely stuck multiple times is the most amount of effort I've ever put into four-wheel driving.
You're not stuck enough. Your wheels aren't spinning. Go back, put it in 2 again. Actually, try dig it in reverse. There we go. Yeah, dig it right down. Now put it in go. Yes, dig.
Let it be known that the Triton does not want to get stuck.